ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಅಕ್ಷರಧಾರೆ ಮೈ ಡಿಯರ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅಕ್ಷರಧಾರೆ ಚಾನಲ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು 11/7/2023. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ನ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಲಿತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಹಿಂದೆ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ವೀಡಿಯೋನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಟಿಪ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಮತ್ತು ತಪ್ಪದೇ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಕನಿಷ್ಠ 40 ನಿಮಿಷದಿಂದ 170 ನಿಮಿಷಗಳನ್ನು ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರನ್ನು ರೀಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ರೀಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನನ್ನು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 30 ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸ್ಕೋಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೂ ನನ್ನ ಚಾನಲ್ಗೆ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಮುಂದೆ ನಾವು ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ತುಂಬ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬ ಈಸಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧಾತ್ಮಕ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಮತ್ತು ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಮತ್ತು ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕೇರ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಆ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸನ್ನು ನೀವು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಸಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ. ಸೊ ಬನ್ನಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರನ್ನ ಓದೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. Yes guys, let's see what's in the front page of the newspaper. Today newspaper, which is very important for the competitive exams. 142 killed, 17 missing, state government informs SSC. No sudden shift to natural farming. Putin and Prigozhin met days after mutiny. Chandigarh Kullu see wettest days in history. Increase in normal rainfall in North India. Lakshya Sen climbs Canada Open title. Rain continues to pound North India. Toll rises to 25. 300 people, including tourists, stranded in Lahaul, Spiti and Kullu district of Himachal Pradesh. Extensive damage to highways, power stations, water supply systems. PM speaks to CM Suku. Bengal repolling peaceful. HC orders FIRs into deaths. Grihalakshmi set for launch on August 16. Foxconn pulls out of 19.5 billion chip joint venture with Vedanta. Tomato laden truck hijacked at Chikajala. SC seeks data and an action taken against lynching. Traffic police launch drive to clear encroachment on footpaths. All 44 jurisdictional traffic police station officials have been directed to identify such spots and take action. Police rehabilitate beggars. KIA on-time departure percentage witnesses an improvement. Former chairman of ISRO Kasturi Rangan hospitalized. Tomato laden truck hijacked in Chikajala. NLSIU Infosys Digital Library fellowships for law students. BMS College organizes Inter-Collegiate Festival. 2 arrested. Consuming legumes, nuts, fish, wool, fat, dairy products key to lowering risk of CVD pints study. Researchers analyzed dietary data from 245,000 people in 80 countries across the world from multiple studies. St. John Research Institute was one of the 5 study sites in India. Mapping flood-prone areas in Bangalore. NGO takes up a crowdsourced initiative. Manjunath laments a shortage of funds for research in universities. Stray dogs survey in city from today. About 8,271 acres of forest land encroached upon in Bangalore urban, says Money Minister. Grahalakshmi set for launch on August 16 CM. Government rolls out Annabhagya scheme. For the time being, money will be transferred to beneficiaries in Laya of Rice. Yuvanidhi, another guarantee to be launched around November or December. Sonia likely to attend opposition parties meet in Bangalore. Meeting soon to fill vacant posts in schools and colleges. 200 vet inspectors to be recruited in 2 months. BJP forms fact-finding panels. Illegal homestays, resorts at Hampi, Hanegundi demolished. Minister. Death of Jane Wang. BJP demands CBI probe. Home Minister meet CA. BRS will strongly oppose Centre's Uniform Civil Code plan, says KCR. Telangana State Chief Minister says move to introduce UCC forms part of the divisive politics of the center. Clarifies the party's stand when a delegation of Muslim scholars and representatives of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board calls on him. You can change the schemes, but policies need to go on. Bommai. SC Prospects protects editor of online portal from arrest. 63-year-old dispute settled in Hat Lok Adalat. AI's disruptive economic impact and India check. Let's read this editorial page. Second moonshot. Chandrayaan 3 speaks to moon's rising importance in scientific political melee. AI's disruptive economic impact and India check. So let's make it visible. Little did we know that behind the automated factory machines, self-driving cars and robocops, artificial intelligence would one day crash into our lives, authorizing poems, tipping us with pickup lines, and passing the toughest examinations. The recent rise of large language models and generative AI has sparked more interest in the progress of AI across the globe. ChatGPT was running with its servers crammed for months, and Twitter feeds were filled with quirky ChatGPT codes followed by threads shedding light on the versatile application of such chatbots. Ethical debates on the use of generative AI have subsidized in the realization that users will have a productivity forward upper hand over non-user. The subjects of worker replacements and economic growth with the rise of AI have entered the spiral that the internet once went through. Positive effect of AI adoption. There is broad consensus on increasing productivity by adopting AI in producing goods and services. In a study called Generative AI at Work, involving over 5,000 customer support agents in the Philippines, Massachusetts Institute of Technology economists showed that AI tools boosted worker productivity by 14% and improved consumer satisfaction, leading to better treatment of customer service agents and increased employee retention. Experts suggest that generative AI may not replace employees, but employees using generative AI will replace those who do not upskill. A recent survey among employees of LinkedIn top 50 companies in the United States shows that almost 70% of them found AI helping them to be faster, smarter, and more productive. Another 32% were of the opinion that while AI's current impact may be modest, they anticipate larger gains over the next 5 years. Professor Eric Brinchal Popson of the MIT suggests that restructuring business processes and increased investments are essentially to fully leverage AI's productivity potential. Research from across the world is also largely optimistic about AI's impacts on growth. A study by PricewaterhouseCoopers predicted an increase in global GDP by 14% or 15.7% 7 trillion by 2030 due to ongoing technological advancements in AI. Further, a report from Goldman Sachs Research in April 2023 said that generative AI alone could raise global GDP by 7% or almost 7 trillion over a 10-year period. The report highlights generative AI's potential to create human-like output, and that its ability to break down communication barriers between humans and machines could have large positive microeconomic effects. The Forum for the Kent A. Clark Center for Global Markets surveyed and published the views of US and European economic experts on the impact of AI on the per capita income of the US and Western Europe, and the question whether AI will result in a substantial increase in the growth rates of real capita income in the US and Western Europe over the next 2 decades. 44% of the US experts agreed to an expected substantial increase, whereas 46% said the effects were uncertain. Among the European experts, 34% expected a substantial increase in GDP per capita, while 42% were uncertain about the effects of AI. Only 2% of experts believed that AI would not significantly impact per capita GDP. This included Professor Nicholas Bloom of Stanford, who pointed out historical data on slowed GDP growth despite technological advancements. One another question of whether a ban on generative AI chatbots could negatively impact national innovation. 62% of the European experts agreed that a ban could hinder innovation. 14% were uncertain, and only 2% disagreed. Employment may be adversely affected. Experts also point to multiple negative impacts of AI technologies. The first is labor replacement that AI technologies bring to the table. AI can automate repetitive tasks and with generative AI, even creative tasks can be done efficiently and fast. A research paper titled Robots and Jobs Evidence from US Labor Markets by Daron Acemoglu of MIT and Pascual Restrepo of Boston University found that robot adoption has a negative effect on workers. On average, it reduces the labor share, employment, and wages. These adverse effects primarily affect blue-collar workers and individuals with lower levels of education. In tasks automation and in the rise in the US wage inequality, the two authors document that between 50% and 70% of changes in the US wage structure over the last 4 decades can be attributed to relative wage declines of worker groups specialized in routine tasks in industries experiencing rapid automation. Asimoglu argues that automation reduces labor share and wages, especially when productivity gains from automation are small. His other studies also highlight a distributional concerns over automation causing inequality among workers and possible serious negative impacts on social well-being. A European Parliamentary Research Service report cites AMSI Kinsey Global Initiative research that suggests that AI may intensify competition and deepen the technological divide among firms. Early adopters of AI may gain a significant advantages, leading to a winner takes all scenario. The Guardian puts forward the idea that AI could be highly disruptive as it is more likely to displace middle class, white collar jobs. In comparison, earlier technological advancements displaced people from jobs to higher paid factory floor jobs. Analysis by Goldman Sachs has suggested that 15 to 35% of work in US economies is exposed to automation. Still, the finance giant also puts out members to show how this may not adversely affect the labor market. 60% of workers today are employed in occupations that did not exist in 1940, implying that over 85% of employment growth over the last 80 years is explained by the technology driven creation of new positions, hinting at the possibility of AI creating more jobs than on how much it displaces. But surely no inferences can be had to doubt on how each upgrade impacts the labor market opportunities for India. India, being the most populous country, should be on the lookout as any net negative effect on employment can adversely impact the economy. Increased efficiency by the adoption of AI in call centers and the software industries does not abode well for millions of Indians who work in the field. Regulation on the use of AI is not a bright solution, as this would just drive installments, investments, and new opportunities away. The PwC report suggests that the greatest economic gains from AI will come from China, with a projected 26% boost to GDP by 2030. Thus, it would be prudent for India to focus more on education and training in AI. This could be a lot easier now with online education having larger acceptance after the COVID 19 pandemic to take advantage of the demographic dividend and new opportunities that emanate from AI. AI has seeped into every aspect of the global economy, and its effect on productivity and growth is being seen in an optimistic way. Views on the effect of AI on the labor market and its impact on society are gloomy, with 70% of American experts in an IGM survey agreeing that AI could create deep challenges for society, including in the labor market, politics, data privacy, crime, and warfare. These challenges are difficult to anticipate and plan for. Governments would have to step up their cyber regulations with respect to the new challenges posed by AI, and may also need tax capital, as suggested by many experts, to balance the returns from capital and labor to reduce the displacement and distributional effects. Either way, our growing advancements in AI are now a reality, and equipping ourselves with the latest tools will help us forge ahead along with everyone else. I know an apocalypse where robots take over the human world is nowhere soon. Let's go to the next editorial page. It's about artificial intelligence. It's about the impact of the technology made impacted on human employment. Women's reproductive autonomy as the new catchword. The theme of this year's World Population Day, that is unleashing the power of gender equality, uplifting the voices of women and girls to unlock our world's infinite possibilities, could not be more apt for India. When we unlock the full potential of women and girls, encouraging and nurturing their desires for their families and themselves, we galvanize hope, the leadership, ideas, innovation, and creativity available to societies. In India, the world's most populous nation, the template for women led development, be it in science, technology, agriculture, education, or healthcare, must also include reproductive autonomy at its core. For far too long, the world has been obsessed with population numbers and targets. Instead of ensuring reproductive autonomy for each woman, we are obsessed with total fertility rates. Instead of ensuring that family planning services reach all those who want it, we are obsessed with what the ideal population size of a family, a community, a country, and even the world how to be. It is important to understand that there are no ideal numbers for figures. Population stability comes when reproductive and sexual health decisions are free of discrimination. coercion, and violence, that reproductive and sexual health services are affordable, acceptable, accessible, and of high quality, and that women and couples are supported to have the number of children they want when they want them. Much progress. On World Population Day, July 11, India deserves to be commended for its family planning initiatives, where, despite the many challenges, the aim is to provide an increasingly comprehensive package of reproductive health services to every potential beneficiary, with a focus on the provision of modern short and long acting reversible contraceptives, permanent methods, information, counseling, and services, including emergency contraception. India's commitment towards the Family Planning 2030 partnership includes expanding its contraceptive basket. The inclusion of new contraceptive options advances women's rights and autonomy, leading to a spike in modern contraceptive prevalence. Access to timely, quality, and affordable family planning services is crucial because unspaced pregnancies may have a detrimental influence on the newborn's health as well as major effects on maternal mortality, morbidity, and healthcare expenditure. The Indian government's health, population, and development programs have shown steady progress over the years. Life expectancy at birth has significantly increased in the country over the years. Compared to the 1990s, Indians are currently living a decade longer in terms of maternal health. India has made impressive strides. The current rate of maternal mortality is 97 per 1 lakh live births in a year, down from 2.54 in 2004. Another triumph of these programs is gender empowerment. Since the beginning of 2000, India has cut the number of child marriages by half. Teen pregnancies too have dramatically decreased. Access to vital services, including health, education, and nutrition, has also improved. No physical autonomy. However, this progress has a fine print too. Many women continue to lack physical autonomy. According to the most recent National Family Health Survey, just 10% of women in India are independently able to take decisions about their own health, and 11% of women believe that marital violence is acceptable if a woman refuses to have sex with her husband. Nearly half of all pregnancies in India are unplanned, as they are globally advancing. Gender equality is not just about women but also about populations as a whole. In aging societies that worry about labor productivity, achieving gender parity in the workforce is the most effective way to improve output and income growth. And in countries experiencing a rapid population growth, women's empowerment through education and family planning can bring enormous benefits by way of human capital and inclusive economic development. More importantly, the focus on gender equality helps shift the focus away from the notion of population stabilization to population dynamics based on reproductive choices people make. India has a significant opportunity to advance gender equality and grow its economy. In fact, raising the women's labor force participation by 10 percent points might account for more than 7% of the potential GDP growth opportunity, 770 billion in additional GDP by 2025. The investments needed. The path to such a bright future is clear, focusing on gender equality centered growth, rights, and chances promises to help all achieve their aspirations. Gender equality can be ensured by making investments in a woman's life at every stage, from childbirth to adolescence to maturity. Engaging with women, girls, and other marginalized people and formulating legislation and policies that empower them to assert their rights and take life changing personal decisions are the first step in this direction. World Population Day this year is an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to putting individual rights, particularly women's rights and well being, at the center of the population and development discourse. Gender just approaches and our solutions are the fundamental building blocks of a more prosperous India. And indeed, the word. This is about the human reproductive autonomy. Let's go to the next page. Yes, I forget to tell the one. The what is the theme of this year? Human theme of the World Population Day. Unleashing the power of gender equality is the theme of this World Population Day. Unleashing the power of gender equality. Unleashing the power of gender equality is the this is the theme of today. That is this year World Population Day theme. So just make it known. It will come for banking exams and also for all the state and central government exams. It's very important. What year it is? What population day theme is unleashing the power of gender equality. Let's go to the next page. Don't waste the wastewater is an epidemiologist and faculty member at the John Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. In opposition without a leader, poll debacle in Karnataka has deepened the divide in the state BJP. Political backing and funding, record rainfall, Chandigarh, Kullu see wettest days in history. In July this year, 10 tributaries in Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand surpassed their highest ever flood levels. SC asks Manipur about status of stolen public weapons. The bench asks petitioners and those intervening in case to go through state's status report and file short notes with their suggestions on improvements. At least the case again for today. 142 people killed, 17 missing in Manipur violence as of July 4. Rain continues to batter North India, tall up to 25. Centre instructs Manipur, Mizoram to record biometrics of illegal migrants by September. Sharing this data on Twitter, BJP Minister first from Impal West says this is a step towards NRC. Foxconn pulls out of Vedanta chips venture. Willing to tweak OMS's government says after poor response. Fact-finding team in Manipur charged with conspiracy. Dilution of Article 370 led to unprecedented era of peace in Jammu and Kashmir. Center informs SC. Life has returned to normalcy in the region after over 3 decades of turmoil. SC issues a notice to Center on Delhi Ordinance, impledes LG in case. The court will hear petition on July 17 seeking a stay on Lieutenant Governor's executive order removing 437 independent consultants of Assembly. Police said the order was passed pursuant to the promulgation of ordinance which gave the LG control over civil services in Delhi. Jaishankar files nomination for Rajya Sabha from Gujarat. Trinamool announces candidate for 6 RS seats. Ujra Jaya meets Quatra, discusses Indo-Pacific cooperation, civil rights. SC2 year Uddhav's plea to quash EAC order on Shiv Sena name and symbol on July 31. China protests Dalai Lama meeting US officials in Delhi, calls it interference. Unprecedented situation, says CM as rain leaves Delhi on the skids. Nitin Gadkari reviews flood situation and impact on national highways in several states such as Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Delhi, Haryana, Arunachal Pradesh, and Tripura and Jammu and Kashmir. Asks officials to prioritize repairs. Navantia L&T team up to bid for Navy's submarine tender. SC seeks government response on plea to protect wetlands. SC sets aside order cancelling OCI status of academic. Import of urea may ease by 2024. Alternative farms will replace it, says Mandavia. Rafale, Scopenses, and jet engine development on the agenda. PM's France trip. And CST noticed Odisha our attack on migrant worker. Must see important quality. Kasturi Rangan suffers cardiac arrest in Sri Lanka. Twitter rival thread surpasses 100 million users in less than 5 days. X6, including 3D children killed in a kindergarten attack in China. WikiLeaks founder's wife appealed to US presidency for clemency. Rescuers save 86 migrants from boat near Canary Islands. Biden meets Sunak, King in UK before NATO summit. The US President and the British PM discussed the progress of Ukraine's counter-offensive and emphasized the importance of Kyiv's partnership committing to its long-term defense. Russian President met Wagner chief Prigozhin days after mutiny. Kremlin. Longest-serving Dutch PM Rutte quits politics after 13 years in power. Solomon Islands and China signed deals on police economy tech. FEI is not having to disclose final owner is challenge in Adani Hindenburg case SEBI. Essential challenge to probe did not emanate from the repeal of provisions from the Foreign Portfolio Investor Regulations of 2019. Mortgage regulator tells Supreme Court. GoPro seeks interest from investors to buy airline. Net direct tax collection rise 16% in 4.7 lakh crore. RIL shares jump almost 4%. MCAP climbs 67,326 crore. Honda unveils entry level SUV at 5 lakh 99 crore. Packaging solutions company Pakka gets listed on the NSE. GST Tribunal. Industry seeks time-bound resolution. ITI Clean Mobility to set up a tractor factory in Chennai. India pips China as best emerging market for investing. Ramco cements to buy Prism limestone bearing islands in AP. Sports page. The second happiest moment of my life, says Svitolina. Madhvadev into first Wimbledon quarters after Lahka quits. Cummins refuses to guarantee Warner's place in rest of Ashes. People going overboard criticizing Rohit's captaincy. Harbhajan. Lakshya takes the honor with a clinical and powerful display. Yubanka scripts epic win over the Tsitsipas Djokovic advances. Women in blue look to seal a series. India eyes a fresh start to test against a struggling West Indies. Lakshya terms the triumph as one of his greatest comebacks. Dipa's return headlines Asia selection trials. Olympian Pranati Nayak will look to seal a spot in the squad along with a few others like Yogeshwar Patra, Ashish Mandal, Tamboli, Pranati Das, and Protest. Rudranath sets a W on way to pistol gold. Karbaj wins US Women's Open. Aditi finishes tied 33rd. Rakshita finishes 5th in a 1,500 meter final at Para World. Ampi to spearhead India's challenge. Dubai in West quad for the Odar Trophy. Gukesh finishes 5th. Anand ends tied 7th in Blitz. India campaign ends in Asian Junior Badminton. Top females quarter-mile fails a dope test. Salum K. Awards of June strikes gold. Hidden ticket rates announced for World Cup matches. Andreeva takes the tennis world by storm. It is still early days for the Russian, the youngest player ever to reach the last 16 of a WTA under 1000 event, who is already up to 64th in the live rankings. However, with the age eligibility rule in place, it will be a gradual process for her to move to higher level tournaments. Just did what I thought was respectful. I see as a rank after being bored. The strange particle that holds the key to quantum supercomputers. Majorana zero modes can be used to realize a powerful form of computing called topological quantum computing. They can work as qubits and would not easily lose the information vested with them. Such a computer could also take advantage of peculiar mathematical tools called non-abelian statistics. Hollywood is a stage, but there are too few places for rehearsals in city. Theatre spaces in the city during the 70s and 80s were affordable only through a letter seeking permission or at a very nominal fee. The late 2000s, the places started getting expensive. Yes, it is maybe. Live as a white, voiced brown artist, Ashtiste Renault talks about his debut IP and his journey as an Indian musician in the United Kingdom. Tile Stories Kannada teleplay featuring Ashutosh Rana. How his sculpture gives shape to our feelings using clay. Play by Tato, Bastille Day Special Art, Crispy Bites. These last two pages of text and context for the growth, like the development. India's total power consumption in June this year. The Europeans who died in sweltering heat waves last year. The people missing in the three boats from Senegal to Spain. The number of Wimbledon matches contested by Djokovic 100. Net direct tax collection so far this financial year. The Global South origins and significance. The term Global South is not geographical, rather, its usage denotes a mix of political, geopolitical, and economic commonalities between nations. What were the events which led to the riots in France? How did the fatal shooting of Nahil Majok lead to nationwide demonstrations in France? The need for strengthening palliative care in the face of non-communicable diseases. The revised operational guidelines of the National Program for Prevention and Control of Non-Communicable Diseases limit palliative care to only cancer patients, leaving out those with any other chronic and debilitating ailments. So this is little important for the need for strengthening palliative care in the face of non-communicable diseases. A quiz on the occasion of World Population Day observed annually on July 11th. So this is the last page, guys. Just read this last page. Little important for the point of science, like science quiz and the science exams. So it will make you, it will help you out. Yes, I hope you guys have enjoyed the newspaper reading. So just please subscribe the channel, like and comment for more videos related to healthcare, education, and personal interviews. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel and see you in the upcoming videos, guys. Have a great day. Bye bye. Take care.